What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel. And today we're going to be reviewing round 9 between Port Adelaide and Melbourne. Thursday night footy that ended up being a very positive result for the Power in what was a pretty dominant performance overall across 4 quarters. And I tell you what, this is the domination in the middle that we had with our pressure and our ability to continually win the footy and hunt the Demons was just exceptional. So let's review the game and see exactly who was the best on the night and how it panned out. Comfortable 51-point victory in the end for Port Adelaide, and it started off pretty much with a great response from the first bounce. We were able to hunt the ball continually with our midfielders of Wines and Boak. Robbie Gray was in there at some stage. We also had Power Pepper. Houston was running through there as well, and just our ability to continually hunt the Demons and put pressure on the contest. So we knew that Laddams was going to struggle in the middle up against Gawn, who's obviously one of the more dominant ruckmen in the comp. So to play with him and make sure that we were able to hunt where his tap work was being placed, I think that was a big positive and a big focus that we had to come into this week because of how well Marshall and Ryder dominated Laddams last week, and we were just a little bit lazy around the contest. So to back that up and really flick the switch early, we had a positive start, and right off the bat, George Ellis kicking the goal from 40 metres out, directly in front, set shot. Those shots we were missing last week. To hit our targets and just the way we were moving the ball from half back. DBJ was just exceptional. Tom Jonas and his ability to shut down his opposite player, and then also he was linking up. He was crumbing off his own work and really giving our halfbacks some good run to push through. So it was just that positive start we needed, and for us more so that was a big focus, because last week our ball movement wasn't great. I think we were a little bit more rushed. We were just not hitting our targets. We were fumbly. Whereas last night, we were clean. We were able to hit our targets. We were taking the marks, and if we weren't, we were hitting the contest hard, and our pressure was just phenomenal wherever the ball went. And it started with the outside run as well, with Carl Amon. His having 11 disposals in the first quarter. I think he was running at 80% efficiency off of those 11 disposals. He was just that link-up player that continually ran. He was switching the play, creating different options. And from Carl, that's the type of thing we want. And I think his season's been pretty good. The last couple of weeks he's been a bit quiet, but the way he just dictated the play from the outside really helped. Players like Wines, Boak, Rockcliffe, who was exceptional coming back into the side. His pressure, Rockcliffe's pressure as well, 10 tackles for the night. There was just so many individual performances that really set the tone to start with. And then our goal kicking, we just continually peppered our inside 50s. I think heading into halftime, just coming out of halftime, was 36 inside 50s, and we had 19 scoring shots. So, no, three-quarter time. So that's, to go at 50% inside 50 is something that a lot of teams probably can't execute. 10 goals, 9. Yeah, we probably had a couple of sodas that we reckon we could have made it a little bit better, but it was an exceptional performance. Individually, I think a lot of players stood up and brought that manic pressure that we've had for so long. Even the kids, Rosie, whatever injections he's getting, I need, because he's moving beautifully last night. Zach Butters, his pressure is always up there, and Dersma always puts his head over the ball. He's becoming that, he's an outside player, but his inside work's actually really good. And I think to have both of those factors in your game makes it a little bit more promising, a little bit more versatile as well. So might see more of that as he gets older and develops. I do want to touch on Ollie Wines, because he was a player that I think has a lot of people have put him in focus. He's been under the spotlight a little bit with his return. He's been on and off. He was good against Carlton. Wasn't that great last week against St Kilda, even though he had a bit of a footy. But I think his season's been building, and that's something that from Ollie. Whilst, it's good to see him building back into some form, to snap into it last night, 25 possessions, kick a crucial goal. His contested work and the way he was moving the ball, a lot of handballs, but they were direct handballs on. They were hitting targets, and they were smart handballs as well. They weren't just best option, try and give it, and then the next player can deal with it. He was setting up, he was directing his handballs well, and I was just impressed. I was impressed with his ball move. I didn't even actually notice he had 11 possessions in the first quarter until they, I think Twitter, the club put it up. So to have 11 possessions, to dictate a game like that, like he did, alongside Travis Boak, and Rockcliffe had 21 as well. Those three you wouldn't think could work together, but they allow someone like a Power Pepper whose pressure up forward, he only had 12 possessions, his pressure up forward was really, really good. And if that allows Power Pepper to play that half forward, pressure type player, then we don't have to worry about our midfield being so bulky. We run Houston through there as well. And it just allows us to be a bit more versatile. And I think with Wines playing the sort of game that he can, like that last night, if he can do that every week, then players like Boat can run a bit more, and Rockcliffe can do his tackling and doesn't have to get much of the ball, and that allows players like Carl Amon to link up with the inside mids, and Sam Mays, who was exceptional again. It just allows us to be so much more versatile around the contest. And Laddams, who follows up his own work as well. I feel sorry for Laddams because the umpires don't particularly like him in the ruck. He's very, not clumsy, but he does give a few away, and I don't think half of them were warranted. But in saying that, he's still a raw ruckman, and I think he's going to keep on learning. And Ken Hinkley said that himself. Laddams is going to learn as the game goes on, and playing up against one of the class ruckmen in Gawn, he's going to learn, and that's good. That's a good way to develop. I think the player we want to talk about most is Mitch Georgiadis. We saw him come of age last night. I think, to kick the first goal of the game really gives a lot of confidence. His contested work was actually pretty good. I was really impressed with that. He was flying for everything. And that mark he took in the last quarter to kick his third was, that was really impressive. That's a Rising Star nomination game if I haven't seen it before. He's someone that's going to be a bright young star, and he's got a big future ahead because we haven't had a player like that in a while to able to just jump at everything, to have a key forward, well, not key forward, but have a forward player. It reminds me a bit of Brett Ebert, just the way his hands above his head are just so clean. He can take a big grab. His leg is beautiful to watch. His set shot action, he missed a couple, but they were tougher angles. He's got a good run up. And just, his technique in general, just for all aspects of his game, is really, really impressive. So, Georgiadis, one to watch, that's for sure. Darcy Byrne-Jones is another that I think deserves a little bit of credit. All-Australian halfback at the moment. He's sitting there quite comfortably with Boak also in the Australian team at this stage, I'd say, because those two have been exceptional for Port. But DBJ, most underrated player in South Australia. In fact, most underrated player in the AFL. The way he conducts himself, his groundwork's exceptional. His ball use is clean. And just the way he attacks the footy. Oh, that's what you want from a halfback. And there's no one at the moment matching him in terms of speed, agility, and ball use. Just deserves all the credit. And his pressure on the defensive aspect, Melbourne crumbled all night from the outset, and he was the one that set the tone. That whole back six, to recover from what they did last week with Justin Westhoff moving down forward. Another one for Hoff as well, by the way. He was exceptional, I thought. Back to that better form that we know Hoffy can produce. Just that pressure down back. They were peppering us early, but just didn't take their chances inside 50. Weren't hitting targets. It was sloppy ball use by Melbourne, and I think the way our back six was able to contain the continual inside 50s from the Ds and clean that up nicely and just execute going down the other way. We've got the best back six in the comp, and that's why we're sitting top, is because our defensive unit is exceptional. We've only got Mackenzie to come back in and make that even better. So just a classy all-round performance from all aspects of the game, forwards, mids and backs. You take that after what was a pretty dismal performance last week. So sitting top, and we improved our percentage. So all good signs on a Thursday night. Well, that's it. That is my round 9 review of Port Adelaide versus Melbourne. A big game and a big win. Much needed win, I think, in terms of this season. Now we've hit the halfway point. We've got a pretty decent run home, and in terms of decent, we're going to have a lot of games at the Adelaide Oval, but they're big contests and a short turnaround playing the Dogs on Monday night. So all about recovery, all about making sure we get the right preparation ready for a big night Monday, because if we win that, then we're going to be setting ourselves up really nicely with a couple of 6-day breaks, playing Richmond and Geelong after that. So it's going to be fun. Footy frenzy. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content. My name is Anthony, and as always,